Find all the real numbers that are excluded from the domain. Give the domain using set notation. So here they're asking us to do two things. The first thing is we want to see the numbers that are excluded from the domain. Okay, and then the next thing is we need to write it in set builder notation or set notation. So when you're asked for the numbers that are excluded from the domain, they're talking about this part right here. We really don't care about the numerator, just the denominator. So what we need to do with this is we need to factor it out. So we can use any of the techniques you've used in the past. I'm going to use the X puzzle. And again, the reason I'm using the X puzzle is because the coefficient for the variable that's being squared is 1. So I put the -7, the middle term goes at the top, and 10 at the bottom. So I'm looking for two numbers that add up to -7 and multiply to a +10. In this case, it's going to be -5 and a -2. So -5 plus a -2 gives me this -7, and -5 times a -2 gives me this +10. So the bottom part, when I factor it out, I write x minus 5 and then x minus 2. And because I want the numbers that are excluded from the domain, I have to set these equal to 0 and use the zero factor property. So remember, the zero factor property is we set each of the factors equal to 0 and then solve. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write x minus 5 equal to 0, x minus 2 equal to 0. And we're solving for the variable x. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So we get x is equal to 5. And then add 2 to both sides. So we get x is equal to 2. So when x is equal to 5, this polynomial here at the bottom is equal to 0. And when x is equal to 2, it also equals to 0. And we can prove that. If I put 5, I get 5 squared minus 7 times 5 plus 10. We get 25 minus 35 plus 10. You can see how this is equal to 0. Okay, so the last part we need to do here is write it in set builder notation. So set builder notation is like this. You write for all x. So we write the x here. So for all x, this line means such that. So for all x, such that x cannot equal to 2 and 5. So that's your set builder notation. That's your answer. For all x, such that x cannot equal to 2 and 5. So 2 and 5 are the numbers that are excluded from the domain.